Good afternoon. I hope you all have been having a productive conference. I want to thank you for letting me join you this way. I'd love to see all of you in person before long. But as you may know, my name is Vivek Ramaswamy. I'm aiming to lead Ohio as our state's next governor. And I grew up in Cincinnati. I went to public schools through 8th grade. I went to St. Xavier, a Jesuit private high school for high school. I went on to start businesses and have really met Americans and Ohioans from many different walks of life. And one of the things that I've learned, that I've seen firsthand, including amongst some of our own friends and people I went to school with, is that the problem of drug addiction and the problem of drugs in general affecting families does not discriminate between black or white, between economic class, between region, whether you grow up in an urban population or a rural one. This is a challenge that all of us face together. My mom was a psychiatrist in Cincinnati. She worked at the VA. For a period of time, she also treated kids and families, many of whom were afflicted by mental health issues, but also by the problem of addiction. This has been a problem in our country, in our state, in our region that has festered for far too long. And one of the things that I hope to accomplish as the next governor of our great state is to stand for and to back law enforcement to help us bring an end to this crisis. These are not nature-made problems. Many people die of cancer. Many people die of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's dementia and otherwise. Those are problems of nature. They may be tough to tackle. They are tough to tackle. My background was as a biotech entrepreneur, developing medicines for patients who needed them in wide ranges of diseases, from prostate cancer to rare genetic diseases in kids. That's where I worked before, and problems of nature are hard to solve. But in so many ways, the problem we're talking about right here, the problem of addiction, the problem of drug overdoses, the problem of even drug poisoning. In many cases, people don't know that they're taking fentanyl, for example, when their product has been laced with fentanyl without their knowledge. Those aren't nature-made problems. Those are man-made problems. In every sense, sometimes quite literally, even including the fentanyl itself, which is synthetic, man-made, not something that even naturally occurs in nature. And it's wrong. In many ways, it traces back to bad actors outside of our country who were looking to undermine us from within. But our job right now is to figure out what we can do about it. Those lives that have been lost, thousands every year in our own state of Ohio, 5,000 drug addiction-related deaths every year in our own state. That's wrong, and we're never going to be able to have those sons and daughters of our state come back. So many of them were young, with bright futures ahead of them, with bright careers ahead of them, ended prematurely. But they didn't die of a nature-made disease. They died of a man-made problem. And I do believe it, that every man-made problem has a man-made solution, if we just have the courage to actually step up and act. There are solutions to prevent these deaths. In many cases, it starts with just preparedness. We got to acknowledge that we have a problem rather than sweeping it under the rug to be able to solve it. Think about the use of Narcan, equipping not only law enforcement, but even through education. And yes, even in the home setting, the ability to prevent an acute death right before it occurs, I think is an important line of defense. But to combine that with the longer-term solutions that really stop the supply of these drugs reaching our young people, especially even our kids, at a premature and at a wrong age, and really products that shouldn't be reaching anybody, entering through a porous southern border that's been open in our country for far too long. I don't want to just be about doom and gloom today. We do have a lot to celebrate in that we are making progress. We haven't gotten to the destination, but we're making progress slowly. You look at the number of border crossings over the course of the last 4 months, they are now down back to rock bottom before where they belong, to where they were before. But the reality is it's not just lower border crossings in terms of number of people. That means those are fewer illegal drugs crossing our southern border as well. The amount of fentanyl that we're capturing suggests that those levels are sharply declining as well in terms of what's entering our country. This is progress. Think about the awareness. Now we've opened our eyes. I've traveled this country over the course of the last couple of years, and I can't tell you how many parents I've met who have lost their sons and daughters to a fentanyl overdose, to a drug overdose, or in some cases just outright fentanyl poisoning, where their kids didn't even know what they were taking. That's not just an overdose. That's really almost a form of biological terrorism to be able to lace a product with fentanyl and somebody not know it. That's not the product of a free choice that that person's making. And I think we need our laws to catch up to that reality. So my goal in this isn't to play a blame game. This isn't about left versus right. This is about up versus down. And we choose up for our state of Ohio. We choose up for our young people. I think that requires leaders who are willing to act with the spine. And I'll tell you that I will, addressing both some of the root causes on the demand side of the problem that we can't hide from, that we're going to have to step up and address, but also to address that supply side problem as well by closing that border, by enforcing the laws that we already have on the books, by empowering our law enforcement, both to be able to enforce the laws, but also even to educate our young people starting at a young age so that they never really take that unfortunate dark turn that so many of our young people do take. This isn't something that limits itself to just affecting Republicans or Democrats or one demographic group or another. We're all in this together, and I want us to be one Ohio, working together to prevent drug-related overdoses, to prevent drug-related deaths, to combat this epidemic of addiction. And if we're able to do that, you know what? I don't care what label you put after your name, an R, a D, a politically unaffiliated, it doesn't matter. We're going to be more successful as a state by working together to end this scourge. And I want to thank those of you in this room for having the courage and the conviction to translate tragedy, yes, but to translate tragedy in the past to hopefully avoid greater tragedy in the future. In my books, you're heroes for doing what you do. If I can ever help you, you let me know. We're going to be working together to lead our state, our region, and our country to greater heights than we've ever seen. Your success is our success. And now let's work together to do some good, to learn from the past, to be able to have a brighter future ahead. Thank you. May God bless you and your families and our great state of Ohio.